Every time we say squat, do a squat, and you'll have buns of steel by the time this video is done. Hello and welcome to the Necromundown. This week it's the long-awaited squat video. Although I was about to say not long-awaited because this book is actually new. It's the new Halls of the Ancestors book.
Yeah, at time of recording, it just came out over the weekend. I think it's been in the outro of our last 4 Necromundowns about squats are coming soon.
We finally got there. You know,
they're
2 weeks
finally
behind
here.
everybody who got the book ahead of time because we don't, and we're very sorry for that. But
Maybe Games Workshop will find us cool enough eventually. We're getting up there, but if not, please subscribe.
If you'd like Games Workshop to send us stuff early, hit the subscribe button and tell your friends.
Yes, please.
But until that point, let's talk squats.
Let's talk squats.
One of the newer gangs, up there with Ashwaste Nomads, they came out with the Book of the Outlands.
Yep.
Back when Ashwaste released. And not the first time squats returned to overall Warhammer 40,000, because Leagues of Votann were first.
Yeah, and there was also a couple of bounty hunters and hangers-ons that you could get in Necromunda that were squats.
Squats have been in existence in Necromunda. They never really left Necromunda, right?
Right.
Whereas in the wider 40k, they were kind of, the origination of the term squatting is just kind of quietly killed off in the background. Oh, they were eaten by Tyranids.
Right.
And then it turns out they were actually Leagues of Votann.
Yeah.
Brief lore. It's Coty this time who actually cares about lore, so he's not going to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm not going to fall asleep.
Imperial squats are related to distant cousins of the Leagues of Votann.
Yeah.
People from high gravity worlds who, are kind of based around mining and trading. But the squats are not Leagues of Votann. They have been on Necromunda since the Dark Ages.
Yeah, they're actually, in the book, it states that they're one of the first to arrive in Necromunda, and they basically started the building process of Necromunda.
Yeah, way back in the day. So they've been here as long as humans. They're very insular. They're based around mining through the crust of Necromunda, which in Necromunda doesn't mean you're mining for, raw materials, because that stuff's all gone.
You're right.
It means you're mining for old trash and old metal and recycling that.
Yeah. There's even an ancestry that we'll get into those in a little bit that doesn't even really mine anymore. They just harvest chemicals and gases from the Sump Sea and whatnot.
Yep. And so they kind of stick themselves in their own clans, very, very reminiscent of typical dwarf lore, basically. They do exist in the Underhighs, not necessarily Ironhead Squat Prospectors, who are technically the outer ones, but there's rules. The rules even say, look, if you want to play these guys in a Dominion campaign, it's perfectly fine. There's no reason not to.
I did last campaign that we did.
Yeah, and they work fine in Dominion campaign. Arguably better because I don't have to run across the ash wastes, but
yeah,
we'll get to that.
And your rapid fire goes off a little more in Dominion.
And we'll get to that.
Yes.
So, overall view of the gang. What is this gang? Gameplay-wise.
Shooting. A lot of rapid fire. They are the orcs of Necromunda, I always joke, because they have a lot of DACA. Shooting works differently in Necromunda than it does with orcs in 40k, because it's still reliant on one hit dice, which is kind of their downfall, or at least used to be their downfall when they didn't have fully fleshed out rules.
Yes.
But yeah, a lot of shooting. They're tough. They are slow and
expensive.
Expensive, yes.
So they're kind of they have the toughness of a Goliath, but they're not the strength of a Goliath. They're still all strength 3, but they're all toughness 4. They're not necessarily hitting better. They're not like Vansar stats where your gangers have 3-up ballistic skill.
Right.
They're still, their champions have 3s and their gangers have 4s.
And their Juves have 5.
Yep. But they get more shots. Most of your weapons that would normally be not rapid fire are rapid fire. And if they're normally rapid fire, they're rapid fire too.
Yes.
You just get more shots. But like Coty said, they still only really get 1 hit die.
Right.
Now, they do get more access to rerolls in that hit die. Kind of, than other folks do.
It's still rare, it is in the rest of Necromunda, but a little bit less.
Yeah, if you want easy rerolls, play a Ratling. But that's next week. So yeah, they're shooty, they're slow. Everyone's rocking 4-inch movement.
Yep.
But they're tough. So let's start out with their... previously, this is not a comparison video.
Right.
Inevitably, we will talk about the things that were in old squat rules, but we're not going to go a one-to-one, this has changed, because this is already going to be long enough. But previously, squats were a minor faction, in that they weren't fully fleshed out. For example, they didn't really have a house mechanic.
Right.
They sure do now.
Yes.
And I think they've gone from being one of the least fleshed out factions to one of, if not the most fleshed out faction, which is not bad. I like that. I like to see more of that. I hope Ash Waste Nomads get the same treatment.
Yeah.
So their house rules, for lack of a better term, their special rule is the ancestries. Basically, when you make a gang, you can pick an ancestry. So you can pick an ancestry, and this ancestry basically is a sub-faction, which we haven't really seen in Necromunda before, except for the outcasts.
Right.
Where it gives you pros and cons. Mostly what this gives you is post-battle actions.
Right, yeah. Post-battle actions, and then sometimes, like, it's a post-battle action that affects the start of the next game type of situation.
Yeah, but you have to take it as an action.
Right.
So it's not a free rule, but it's kind of a free rule.
Kind of, yeah.
It's interesting. So let's go ahead and go through these. First, and perhaps foremost, is the English mining clan.
English.
Which is the language I speak. I speak English.
Yes.
You get 3 post-battle actions: Masters of Coin, Hostile Negotiations, and Inheritors of the Wastes. Or sorry, I guess the actual names are Negotiate Sale, Ransom Agreement, and Recruit Scion. Negotiate Sale is if the gang sells item in the update roster, you get full credit. It's for the first 3 items you sell. Niche, but okay. Usually the item is it's 1/2 plus, it's like 1d6.
Right.
Times 5. It's really, selling items is bad normally. This makes selling items not nearly as bad. Selling items isn't something you do a lot.
Not a ton.
But there are times, especially when like upgrading armors.
Yeah, or if you lose a ganger and you don't really feel like equipping that old equipment on a new one and you just want a few extra creds.
This will get you credits over the long term, which is not bad.
And with their stuff being so expensive, if you have enough of something and you don't want any more, you'll get a decent chunk back.
Yeah. Next up is Ransom Agreement. The gang removes 2d6 times credits from their stash and selects one of their fighters who is held captive. The gang holding the captive gains half the credits removed this way and immediately returns the selected captive. If the gang has insufficient credits to pay for the captive's release, then nothing happens. Note that if the gang can afford to pay for the release, they must.
Yeah.
So this is weird, because you're paying... Normally, the way gang selling captives works is you get... the person who captures, the capturing gang, gets half of the credits for the ganger's value. So let's say I have a champion who's worth 100 credits between all their stuff.
Right.
If I sell them, I'd get 50 credits. But you can either offer to buy them, you can sell them to another player.
Right, you can make that trade back to the player that you captured them from to get more money out of it, and they have to spend less to recoup for another champion that you...
Generally, it's favorable for both parties, because like if I capture your champion, I'm like, okay, I could sell him for 50 credits, but if you give me 60 credits, I get more credits, and you get your guy back for cheaper.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy another 100
But, you know, you can haggle. It's like, or how about you give me 90 credits? It's still cheaper.
Right.
And if they're like, no, they're like, oh, well, you don't get your guy back. You know, and you lose credit. So there's that haggle game. This says, okay, I'm going to randomly determine how many credits that I have to spend. You only get half.
Yeah.
That number of credits, it's 2d6 times 10. So anywhere between 20 to 120 credits.
Right.
The usefulness depends entirely on how expensive the guy you're trying to buy back is.
Right.
Because if it's a juvie, no.
No, not at all.
But let's say it's late game and you've got a 300-point champion. This could save you a lot of money.
Right.
I still would never pick this as my...
It seems really good, but it's very situational. Especially with the new core rules and how capturing even works. Like,
Capturing's rarer than it used to be.
Yeah.
And this is also kind of a feel bad for your opponent, who gets less credits.
Yeah. For sure.
And is probably going to be mad. Now,
Yeah.
it does...
Oh, you captured my Ironhead champion with a melt-a-gun? Yeah, here's 20 credits.
Right. It does skip the process of... Because normally you have to wait for the opposing gang to do the rescue operation before you can sell them.
Right.
To the guilders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't love this one. It's fun, but I don't love it.
Yeah, and that part at the end, that if the gang can afford to pay for the release, they must. That's one of those things where you don't want to do it all the time because, yeah, if it's a Juve or somebody who's really cheap, you can't just be like, oh, let me try to get him back for 20, and then you roll 120, and you're just like, oh, no, never mind. You were stuck with that 120, and then you're like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah. And your opponent gets 60 credits, and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's too random.
Yeah.
All right, last one for English. I hate that so much. Is Recruit Scion when this is post-battle, blah, blah, blah. If at least one fighter is deleted from the gang roster during the clean house sub-step of the clean house step of the post-battle sequence.
Say that 5 times fast.
The clean house dubstep. Basically, if you lose a guy, if someone gets killed or deleted somehow, the gang may add a free Ironhead Squat Digger, which is your ganger.
No, that's...
Was that your juvie?
Yes.
Oh, right, because the Drillkin's a
Yes.
ganger, right?
Yeah.
So you can get a free juvie to your gang roster.
I think that one's not too bad.
That's actually pretty good. Juvies are not the best, but they have their use, and it is free.
And if you lose a juvie, you can replace it with a juvie.
The problem is if you lose a champion, you get a juvie.
Yeah, which, I mean, a free guy, you're never going to complain at that.
Yeah.
There's just some other better ones. So
Yeah,
that one's not bad.
And hey, if your champion just got deleted, it looks like your juvie gets a melta gun. I know you can't do that. I know you can't do it, but it would be funny.
That'd be funny, though.
All right. You take the next one.
All right, the next one is Scragfrid Mining Clan. This one is New Frontiers. Ironhead squats with this ancestry may perform the Extract Creds post-battle action. Extract Creds. When this post-battle action is performed, the gang selects one of their territories. The territory does not grant any boons during this post-battle sequence other than income, but the gang adds D6 times 10 credits to their stash. If this post-battle action is performed multiple times in the same post-battle sequence, a different territory must be selected each time it is performed.
Holy crap, that's good.
That is really good.
Holy crap, that is good. Because a lot of territories have boons that you do not care about.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you could make one of your guns radphage, but
yeah,
it's
or
not.
You can turn the lights off or something, or turn the lights back on, which in a match where you're not doing that, who cares?
This takes a lot of those completely useless territories, or territories that you don't care about, and suddenly gives them D6 times 10 credits.
Yes.
And you could do this 3, 4... How many champs do you have? How many leaders and champs do you have?
How many territories do you have?
At least, you're probably starting the game with at least 1 leader, 2 champs. 3d6 times 10 credits. Boom, immediately.
Yeah.
First game.
Well, you have to choose a different...
okay, sorry. If you win, first game.
Yeah,
you can
so
get 2.
if
2d6
you have
times
multiple
10.
territories, yeah. So three people who can do this, 3 territories, that's 3d6 times 10. So by game 3, if you're doing well, not bad.
This is one of the best ones in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because your stuff's really expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and credits are always king. Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah, because like compared to like some other ones that we'll get to where it's just like a flat D6 times 10, like this is triple that immediately almost.
Yeah.
And the next one is Explorators. Am I saying that right? Explorators?
Explorators.
Yeah. Ironhead squats with this ancestry may perform the automotive tinkering post-battle action. When this post-battle action is performed, the gang gains 2d3 times 10 credits that may only be spent on vehicle war gear or upgrades. At the end of the post-battle sequence, if any of these credits are unspent, they are lost.
Not bad. But 2d3 times 10 is not much better than d6 times 10.
Right, like, again...
So 2d3 that you could only spend on vehicles.
Right.
Or d6 times 10 that you could spend on anything. Technically, 2d3 times 10 is better because you can't roll below 20.
Mm-hmm. True.
Technically.
True. But it can only be spent on war gear, or vehicle war gear and whatnot, so, like, unless you're playing an Ash Waste campaign that is very heavy vehicle, which is still kind of hit or miss, in my experience at least, that's very niche. It's if you want to go that route in a gang, sure, why not? But I don't think it beats out just flat D6.
No, that's... I would take Extract Creds 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. And anyway, the last one is Lords of the Spoil. Ironhead squats with this ancestry may perform the Spoil Treasure post-battle action. When this post-battle action is performed, it adds 3 to the availability level when seeking rare and illegal equipment.
So really this is adding 2. Because normally you get +1 for each of your champions that goes. But this itself is a post-battle action.
True.
Which means you can't do that and go.
True.
So really you're adding 2, which is not bad.
Right. So basically you have
it's
one
basically
person
making
that adds 3 instead of 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
Which is not bad, especially if you're really looking for something specific. Like, yeah. But again,
D6 times 10 credits is better.
you don't know when you're going to be looking for this, and you have to choose this at the beginning of the campaign. Like,
right.
That's probably the worst part about their ancestry in general, is that these all have to be chosen at the beginning, as far as I know. I might be reading that wrong, but like you could choose the vehicle one, and then you could play an Ash Waste campaign that you played your vehicles 3 times, like the last one I did, and I bought a Cargo 8, and I used it like twice.
Now, it is worth noting that you get to pick one of these per leader and champion.
Yeah, I guess you would get all 3 of them at the start, unless you chose extract creds 3 times.
Which you will.
Which you probably will.
And you can also purchase these as primary skills, so 9 experience points, which is not the worst decision, although they do have really good skill choices, as we'll talk about.
Yes.
So you do have access to all of these, but man, it's really hard to beat extract creds.
Right.
We'll get to some other things that might, though. Next up is the Svardal mining clan. All of these things sound like places in Stalker. I'm just going to say that.
Well.
Get out of here, Stalker. Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, the Ash Wastes are functionally the zone, right? Bitter Enmity. Post-battle action. This fighter gains the Berserker skill for the duration of the next battle. Your leaders and champs are not really melee pieces. You can punch.
Leader, sure.
Your leader can be.
Exo-champ, sure.
Yeah. Your exo champion. Yeah, I guess I forgot the exo champion is now a thing.
Yeah, that's one of the new things we'll get into.
And Berserker is not a bad skill at all.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say they're super melee heavy when we were kind of doing the overall of them.
They can hit hard, but they're not melee in the same. Yeah. So adding Berserker skill for the duration of the next battle, not bad. Skull Veterans, patch them up. When this post-battle action is performed, gang may purchase bionics from the trading post, and all bionics are considered to be common.
That one is good.
That one is good because it makes patching your guys up pretty easy. The only downside is that bionics are inherently a catch-up because they add their cost to your guy,
right?
While only making him as good as he once was.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great. Battleborn squats as last one. Battle drill. Any fighters hired during this post-battle sequence earn D3 XP when they are added to the gang's roster. Not bad.
Not bad. I think it's another catch-up mechanic.
That one's okay because it just gives some free experience points, and including to your fighters, which, you know.
Yeah, not bad. Next one is Tap for Keat.
What'd you call me?
Bleep it out.
Yeah.
All right, and then this one is Tinkerers. Ironhead squats with this ancestry may perform gunsmithing post-battle action. When this post-battle action is performed, select one of this fighter's weapons. The weapon permanently gains the Master-crafted trait.
That one's interesting because you can only do it per number of weapons you have.
So you can only do it to your weapon, basically.
Right. And Master-crafted is you can re-roll one hit roll of one once per battle.
With them relying on rapid fire, that's pretty good.
That is true. It does help them more.
Yeah. Especially it would have helped me last campaign where my Melta guy who was hitting on 2s would just habitually roll 1s and then also, roll a reload.
Every time.
But that one's pretty good. Again, is it better than D6 times 10 creds? I don't know. Next one is Custom Rigs. Ironhead squats with this ancestry may perform the Monkey Wrench post-battle action. When this post-battle action is performed, this fighter may perform the Negotiate Repairs post-battle action, reducing cost by 2d6 times 10 credits to a minimum of 5 credits.
I don't believe I have ever used Negotiate Repairs.
I don't think so.
It's just the way vehicles work, it's so rare that it actually happens.
Yeah, and I think that just kind of passively makes Tinkerers worse.
Right.
Because, again, you're stuck in this ancestry. So if you were to do that, there's Tinkerers is the only one you'd maybe do other than maybe the next one, which is Builders of the Underway. Ironhead Squats with this ancestry may perform Hidden Tunnels post-battle action. When this post-battle action is performed, select D3 friendly fighters. For the duration of the next battle, those fighters all gain Infiltrate. That one is pretty good.
That one's very good.
Yeah.
That one's in the running for one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah,
Infiltrate is very powerful,
So,
especially when you've got the best flamer in the game.
yeah. With a rapid-fire flamer,
Yep,
that's not bad at all.
Very terrifying. You're at 4-inch movement, so you want Infiltrate.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is better in Underhive than it is in Ashed Wastes, where Infiltrate can often just get your butt killed.
Yeah.
That one's in the running for really, really, really good. And then you... So here's the thing. Can you just pick that one 3 times and have 3D3 people have Infiltrate?
I mean, it doesn't say you can't.
That's gross.
And again, so like if you were to go tap for Keat and you had Tinkers with your Ironhead Bolters and then did a guy or two with Hidden Tunnels, that's the makings for a pretty strong team, actually.
Yeah, good lord. Next is Helmaeth Mining Clan. I want to call this one out. The lore for this one is they literally live beneath the ocean.
This one is probably, flavor-wise, my favorite.
Mining Clan's fleet of submersibles, raiders and chem pirates. When do I get this supplement? I know we have Sump Sea, but God, now we need to play squat pirates.
Yeah, their lore is they literally, I don't know if it says crash landed, but they landed in the Sump Sea and they're just underwater for a while, and now they're pirates.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you live underwater for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or your submersible implodes. So you have Spider Hunters, Terrors of the Sump Sea, and Rules of Parley. Spider Hunters, you get Sump Safari. Select a friendly fighter. Make a leadership test for this fighter. If the test is passed, they get D3 XP. If they fail, go into recovery. You have pretty decent leadership on your guys.
Yeah, but that's still pretty risky.
Yes, it is. I don't love that one.
Yeah.
Terrors of the Sump Sea gives you Press Gang. Make a leadership test for this fighter. If the test is passed, then in the gang's next battle, you may hire D3 Hive Scum for free. That one's pretty good.
That one's good.
More bodies always helpful.
Yes.
And Hive Scum don't count against you.
And they're actually better. Hive Scum are stats-wise better than your Juves, other than the toughness 4.
Yeah, and their mental stats are bad.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And then last one is Rules of Parley. Law of the Sump. All gangs that took part in this battle add D6 times credits to their stash. Roll separately for each gang. It's group hug.
Yeah, basically,
It's
like
group hug.
like we both win.
Yeah, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. The problem is, why would you pick that when you could just get D6? You know when you pick that? When you don't have territories.
True. True. Maybe I'll do this one just because I'm bad at the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, if I'm losing, just like, just giving everybody credits.
I think I had a whopping 2 territories at the end of last
with
one.
my luck, I'd roll 1d6, and then the guy winning rolls 60,
Yeah. I gotta help everybody else.
I like this one. I like this one. It's fun.
Yeah, this one is definitely my favorite.
But I do love a good
flavor-wise.
group hug.
Yeah, just gives me Bioshock type vibes.
A little submarine. You're playing a vehicle in the ash waste, and it's just your vehicle is just a periscope that you can go underground.
That's awesome.
All right, next up.
Now I gotta put like floaties on my little trikes.
Oh my god, everybody has the Kisby rings. Except your leader has like the dinosaur Kisby ring, like the dinosaur and the water wings,
unicorn one.
Yeah, everyone's got water wings.
The gang leader's just sitting there floating on a swan with a drink in his hand.
We need to play a Sump Sea campaign.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next one. The one that sounds like a goblin. Let's go in the book.
Snorag Mining Clan. Denizens of the Deep, but not the Sump Sea Deep.
Or the other deep.
The other deep, down in the tunnels. Ironhead Squats with this ancestry may perform the Midnight Battlefield post-battle action. Midnight Battlefield, when this post-battle action is performed during the next Underhive battle the gang fights in, pitch black rules are automatically in effect.
Now that can be very powerful. Hope you are prepared though, because if you don't have any natural preparedness against that, so don't just turn off the lights if you don't have a plan.
It can be strong if you build your gang towards this.
Right. I mean, you could give your guys photo goggles.
Yeah, just stack photo goggles. Which,
And just
I mean,
turn off the lights.
If you're playing an Ash Waste campaign, you're probably going to be doing that anyway, just because of visibility conditions in those certain scenarios. Like, I could see this one being pretty strong.
The downside is that then everybody knows that when they fight you, they better bring photo goggles themselves.
Yeah. And the downside is if they're also stacking photo goggles for Ash Waste, like...
Well, this only happens in the Underhive, so I'm guessing...
Yeah, I just mean because, like, certain...
Yeah, some campaigns are both.
Yeah, you'll have Ash Waste scenarios and then Underhive scenarios.
Right. So yeah, I would not take this in a campaign with Ash Wastes because more people would be stacking photo goggles.
True.
And because it would not apply to the Ash Wastes.
True.
I would take this in an Underhive, but it loses efficacy as soon as people start shelling out for photo goggles. Mm-hmm. But it might grant you an early campaign advantage if you have...
Yeah, and
imagine turning up to the first campaign game, and you've got fewer guys, but everyone's got photo goggles.
And then it's midnight.
Your first opponent doesn't have any of those things.
Yeah, and it could help you like kind of late game too, because people, instead of spending money on newer, fancier toys, they're gonna have to buy photo goggles to face you. So, which I mean, they're not too expensive, but that's still
35 credits adds up when you've got 10 guys. That's 350 credits.
It's 35 credits. That's not going to a Melta or Las Cannon or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the next one is Under Earth Tunnelers. Ironhead Squats with this ancestry may perform the Modified Techmite post-battle action. Modified Techmite, when this post-battle action is performed, select an exotic beast this fighter is equipped with. For the duration of the next battle, the exotic beast may move freely through impassable terrain if it has sufficient movement to do so, but may not end its movement on or within impassable terrain.
Too niche. Yeah. Not bad, but way too niche.
Yeah, very niche. Techmites, will get to them, but they're not, like, super outstanding. They're okay. And then the last one is Buried Treasures. Ironhead Squats with this ancestry may perform the Overwork post-battle action. Overwork, this post-battle action is performed. Select a territory the gang controls. The gang gains all the boons and income from the territory in additional time. However, for the next 2 campaign weeks, the territory grants no boons or income. While a territory has been exhausted in this manner, it can not be targeted by this post-battle action.
So...
it's basically a paycheck advance loan.
Yeah, in the sense that in the long term it does screw you over.
Yeah.
Because it's a net loss, because you're getting 2 weeks at the cost of 2 more weeks. Yeah, I don't like that one.
This is if you are really hurting for credits and you need something to help you out next week. Like, it is like a payday loan that you should never get.
Right. Don't buy
This isn't
payday
a financial channel, but don't get them.
This isn't a financial channel, but don't ever get a payday loan. And if you are a person who has payday loans or sells payday loans, I hope you bleep.
Yeah, so...
I hope you trip on a rock.
Snorag,
the problem is you could just get extract credits.
Or you could just get extract
credits.
I
know.
Or you could just be a really nice pirate and group hug everybody.
Do what you want, because a pirate is free.
Yeah.
The last one is the Truckin mining clan. No, sorry, second last one. Trockin. Keep on trockin. They're scavengers. First one, Lords of Ruin. Hive scavenging. Gang gains 2d3 times 10 credits that may only be spent on common war gear and weapons from the trading post. At the end of the post-battle sequence, any of these credits are unspent or lost. Better for equipping your guys, because there's some nice common stuff. Mesh armor, some decent weapons.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
It's not great. I mean, again, it's lowest you can get is a 2 versus the 1 with the 1d6 times 10. But then, yeah, it's just, again, limiting what you are spending it on, so... meh.
Yeah. Ancient Tech, the Archaeobot. When this post-battle action is performed, select one of the fighter's exotic beasts, and for the duration of the next battle, their weapons gain +2 strength and unstable. Nope. I hate unstable so much.
Yeah, unstable's
never unstable. Underhive Natives. Dome Exploration. When this post-battle action is performed, make an intelligence test for this fighter. If the test is passed, add d6 times credits to the gang stash. Otherwise, goes into recovery. So it's extract creds, but worse.
It's extract creds with a risk.
And doesn't rely on a territory. We should note that.
True.
And squats do have decent intelligence.
Yeah.
Overall, not a big fan of Trockin.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Also, I said that was second to last. That was third to last. There's so many of these.
Vosinki Mining Clan. Death from the Clouds. So basically, Caradron Overlords and Necromunda. Ironhead Squats with this ancestry may perform the Combat Drop post-battle action. Combat drop. When this post-battle action is performed during the next Ash Waste battle this gang fights in, this fighter arrives as reinforcements during the end phase of the first round. This happens even if the scenario does not normally allow reinforcements and is in addition to any reinforcements from the scenario.
Not bad. Only works in Ash Waste. The problem with reinforcements is that, remember, you roll off, and 50% of the time your opponent gets to pick where they go, which I don't love.
Don't love it, but again, it's kind of like the Hive Scum. Like, having more bodies on the field is always better. So, not bad.
Well, the problem is the fighter doesn't... It's not additional. It just counts. It just isn't deployed.
Oh, really?
It's just reinforcement, right? Because that's how reinforcement works.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I read that as it being additional, but
no, because
it's not additional,
it just means he's reinforcements instead of being deployed.
Well, then I don't know why you would do that.
I mean, maneuverability and surprise.
Yeah, but then just get the one with infiltrate.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, thematically, it's funny.
It is, yeah. The fact that
fun.
these guys just have a void ship that they just fly around as a sky fortress.
Yeah, just ODST dwarves.
I mean, these are basically Carriage overlords, but
yeah,
Necromunda.
But yeah, next one is Far Horizons. Ironhead squats with this ancestry may perform the Scout Out post-battle action. Scout Out. When this post-battle action is performed, the next time the gang rolls to determine the scenario, their player may roll twice and choose which result to use.
That one can be a game winner.
Yeah, especially with the first one being Ash Waste only.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose between an Ash Waste or none. And kind of force the first one to go off more. And then lastly, Heroes of High Anchor. Ironhead Scots with this ancestry may perform the Call for Aid post-battle action. When this post-battle action is performed, in the gang's next battle, they may petition a house agent for no credit cost. This one's really good.
That one can be very, very good, because some of the house agents, I mean, that can include, like, Grim Jarl and others.
Grim Jarl is a huge one. Having basically having him on tap is huge.
That one is what makes this one worth taking.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, last one is Splinter Clan, which is not named. You when you select Splinter Clan, you select one ancestry ability from another clan, and you get that. Mm-hmm. There's also Survival Against the Odds and Children of the Core. Survival Against the Odds is you get Not Quite Dead Yet. When this post-battle action is performed, select a friendly fighter who suffered a lasting injury. You may discard the lasting injury and roll on the lasting injury table again. The second result must be kept even if it is worse than the original. So that one could save you from something pretty bad, or it could just be worse. And then there's Children of the Core. Adapt or Die. When this post-battle action is performed, select one skill this fighter has. The selected skill may be exchanged for any other skill within the same skill set, or a skill from one of the fighter's primary skill sets. So this one doesn't get you additional skills, but lets you swap skills around?
Yeah, that one could be interesting.
I don't love it. It is worth noting that there is also a box for creating your own Splinter Mining Clan, where it literally just says come up with 3 different post-battle actions. Use these as inspiration.
Yeah, talk to your arbitrator.
Right,
in bold letters.
So mine is, my post-battle action is I get 46 times 10 credits.
Yeah, mine is the I Like Money Clan.
Yeah.
And we just, all the ones that give me money, I do that 3 times.
Right, yeah. Mine is Leagues of Votann Aerial Reinforcement.
Yeah, there you go.
I get D6 times 10 Thunderkin added to my list. All right, so that's all the ancestry. A lot to that, but they're pretty in-depth, and obviously some of them very, very powerful. Mm-hmm. Highlights would be Infiltrate, free credits, free guys.
Again, the gang's very expensive, so anything that gives you money, not bad.
All right, let's talk about their skills. Their skill tree is Wisdom of the Ancients. Their champions get it as a primary. Their leader has it as a secondary. First off, you get Where There's Scrap, There's Creds. In the Receive Reward step of the post-battle sequence, as long as this fighter is not captured or in recovery, so they don't even have to have fought, their gang gains an additional D6 times 10 credits for each vehicle belonging to an opposing gang that they wrecked. Not bad. Good in Ash Wastes, and good if you have anti-vehicle tech.
Yeah, very, very situational. If you make a champion that is very anti-vehicle, this could be a good one to throw on them. Just, again, anything that gets you money is good. I wouldn't choose it first, though.
No.
Next one is Nobody Pushes Kin Around. A fighter with this skill is never moved as a result of a weapon trait or skill being used against them. They can also automatically pass any initiative test they need to take to avoid falling when they go from standing to prone whilst within one half of the edge of a level or platform. Not bad. Situational.
Good against nomads with those knockback rifles.
Yeah, especially since squats don't really have great initiative.
No, it's bad.
So this can keep them on your ridge hauler if it gets shot and tips.
Yes.
So not terrible, but again, I would not choose it over a couple of these other ones. The next one being one of them.
Number 3, chemical bonds never break, which is not true, by the way. This fighter may use a chem twice before it is removed from their fighter card. Some chems are very, very good. Using it twice before it's removed is pretty good. Saves you money in the long run.
Yeah, we'll get to the model, but their version of the Ridge Hauler has a way to get cheap chems later on. So going into a drug addict dwarf build is very viable with this gang if you want to go that route. I haven't done it yet.
And here you thought Escher with a chem clan.
Yeah, next one is probably my favorite.
This next one's really good because it addresses one of the worst things in Necromunda.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite, if not very close second. Dependable like Kin, this fighter ignores the unstable trait on any weapon they are equipped with and may re-roll any ammo checks they take.
So many weapons in Necromunda are unusable because of unstable.
Yeah.
This lets you just completely ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
Plasma gun, always overcharged now.
Yes.
And then plasma cannon.
That ancestry thing that gave their weapon the unstable trait, if they have dependable like Kin.
Well, that one gave it to a Techmite, exotic beast, which wasn't.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Wasn't
Never
great.
mind.
Yeah. But still really good because there's a lot of unstable stuff here. There's the settlement that can give your weapons like a flame or radphage, but gives it unstable, which you almost never take. But now you can ignore that.
But yeah, the reroll ammo checks is going to be the
that one's just
one
icing,
here
right?
Because like one of your workhorses in this gang is going to be an Ironhead Melta, and it has scarce and a 6-up ammo, I believe. So you roll that. You get to roll it twice. I mean, it's still not guaranteed, but it helps.
Yep,
it helps. But yeah, not bad at all.
Stubborn to the last. If this fighter is taken out of action before being removed from the table, they may immediately make either a shoot or fight basic action, even if they do not have a ready marker. Also very good.
Very good.
Especially for your shooting champions. I mean, you don't ever want to see them taken out, but this lets them possibly take out whoever took them out.
Yeah, just a free shot or a free fight. Like that's kind of a no-brainer. Like, you get a good melee champion in there. If they get charged, they're...
At least I can take you with me.
Yeah, at least they can clap back and also take them. But, yeah, really good. And then last one is there's always another secret. When this fighter opens a loot casket, they add an additional D6 times 10 credits to their gang's stash. Not bad, very situational, kind of meh.
Yeah, probably my number 4 on here, because there's loot caskets on almost every mission. And D6 times 10 can add up, and your intelligence is pretty good. But not bad, very situational, though.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the actual models available to you, starting with your Chartermaster, who is your leader. For 115 credits, he has 4-inch movement, which is everybody.
Yep.
3-up weapons and ballistic skill. Not bad. Strength 3, toughness 4, 3 wounds, and a 5-up initiative with 2 attacks. He's got 5-up leadership and cool and willpower, and 6-up intelligence. One of the best mental stat spreads in the game.
Yeah.
Pretty darn smart, pretty darn cool, and pretty darn willpower. He's got the usual gang leader special rules, group activation, all that good stuff. His skill set, he has brawn as a primary, meh. Leadership as a primary, meh. And shooting as a primary, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, your gang leader here, pretty good. 115 credits is kind of normal for what he is. He is tough, but he is slow.
Yeah.
You could build him as a melee puncher. He does have access to some pretty good melee weapons. They've got like the power picks, the 2-handed power picks.
Yeah.
The Ironhead Power Fist is hilarious. They also, of course, have the power pack weapons. I don't think I would build this guy as a melee monster because he's got the shooting skill tree and the 3-up ballistic skill. I would build him as a shootist who has something that will make someone regret charging you with chaff.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I might go against that in our next campaign just because I want a 2-handed power pick. That thing is mean looking.
It is, and really cool.
And has really good stats. And yeah, they have brawn, so there's some melee you can lean into with it. And your champions, you're not going to make them melee monsters, except for the exo-kyn, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
Your normal champions before that, they don't really have good melee profiles, I don't think.
No.
So if you were going to have one before the exo-kyn, or you aren't going to take an exo-kyn to start, you could definitely lean melee with your leader.
Yeah, I do think it's a viable thing. Even as a melee guy, though, he's not a melee monster because he lacks the speed.
True.
He is a guy who will stand by your lines, and anybody who comes to you has to get through him. Which is, so he can be very scary in melee. Only two attacks, but he does have 3 wounds.
Yeah.
And toughness 4.
Access to power pack weapons,
Yes, gives you another attack.
Gives you more attacks later on.
But there's a theme here in that you have to pay for it.
Yes.
That is a lot like, the power 2-handed power pick is very good, but it's also 75 credits.
Yeah.
And that is, all of the weapons are like that. You can get an Ironhead. The Ironhead melty-guns on his list, it's 55 credits. Or 155 credits.
Yeah, 155 credits. But, so it is a little bit maybe cheaper to go melee, at least at first, but with the power pick, just going back to that one, if he gets to somebody, he's going to delete them.
Yes.
Especially if he has extra attacks on his backpack.
And that is the downside, all of their weapons are better, the Ironhead bolt gun is better than a normal bolt gun. It's also 45 credits more.
Yeah.
And all you're getting for that is rapid fire 2.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, but you pay for these. All right, next up.
Next one is the Drill Master. That's the champion. But their stats are movement 4, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 5-up initiative, 2 attacks, leadership 6, cool 6, willpower 6, intelligence 7. Yeah, still decent mental stats, still very slow. And this is why you're not going to build these guys ideally as melee champions, because starting with a 4-up weapon skill kind of sucks.
Yeah, and he's 85 credits.
Their access to skills are brawn primary, ferocity secondary, leadership secondary, and shooting secondary, but they get wisdom of the ancients as their primary, and that's the one you're going to choose.
So not too bad. But yeah, these are shooting champions through and through. Despite the fact they don't have shooting as a primary, which does let them down a little. Honestly, they don't need it, though, because they have Ironhead weapons. And Wisdom of the Ancients, as we discussed, is pretty darn good. So you're going to, I don't think you'd ever put brawn on this guy.
No, not at all. Some notable stuff for their equipment is that bolt gun. Again, it's 95 credits, which is a lot. But you would probably, you'd say, you don't want to slap a special weapon on it or a heavy weapon or something along those lines. But the Ironhead bolt gun, compared to the cost of some of those, is, old reliable.
Yeah.
I had a champ that I got in the halfway point of the last campaign that we did that I just threw a bolt gun on him because that's all I had money for, and he ended up getting more KOs than
bolt guns are really good and really solid. Never underestimate the good old bolt gun. I've had champions live their entire lives with just a bolt gun because strength 4, AP 1, damage 2 never goes out of style.
Yeah, very reliable.
And rapid fire 2 means you're getting more wounds through. Next up is the Exo-Master Champion, a new kit, obviously.
This is the new one.
He's 110 credits, so almost as much as your leader, only 5 credits less. And for that, you get 4-inch movement, 3-up weapon skill for ballistic skill, so punchy. Still strength 3, toughness 4, 2 wounds, initiative 5, 2 attacks, leadership, cool, and willpower 6, intelligence 7. He still has gang hierarchy champion. He does not have group activate.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He does not have group activate, which is very interesting to me. I guess he's too rough to try to see. He still has tools to trade. He also has Paragon of the Ancestors. This fighter may perform an additional post-battle action, but it must be an ancestor ability. So keep that, in mind with all the other stuff.
Yes.
Skill access is basically Brawn primary and Wisdom of the Ancients primary. Now, Brawn is better on him because he is actually punchy. The exosuit, it is worth noting, does not give you any, or it does give you some kind of armor to start, right?
Yeah, it gives you a 5-up.
Which is not bad, and it's included in their cost. So when you think of that, like, because Mesh Armor is normally 15 credits, he's really only 100 credits plus 15, kind of like the Enforcer problem.
Yeah.
Which is really not bad. Now, he obviously is way, 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 way skewed towards melee. His list is vastly reduced. Still has close combat weapons, and what I don't like is, like, he doesn't have the same close combat weapons as everyone else.
Yeah, and that's why I really, I'm going to say power pick so many times in this video, is that's why I want to run that on my leader, because they don't get it.
Now, we'll talk about his close combat weapons later when we talk about the unique equipment. Some of them are pretty good. He also does have access, and he's the only one who has access to the Ironhead Combat Shotgun.
Yes. Which I have some beef with.
If you don't know my opinions on combat shotguns are real good. And this one's only 40 credits.
Yeah, for the profile that it has.
Now, you can't give it Firestorm ammo, which is, as I often said, Firestorm ammo is what makes a combat shotgun amazing. But 40 credit combat shotgun is pretty flippin' good.
Yeah, especially for a profile that doesn't have, like, any other really good shooting on it. Like, you can give them the bolt spitter.
I mean, you can't also give them a heavy melta because screw you, I guess.
Oh, yeah, they do get the heavy melta, don't they?
Yeah.
But, okay, a cheap, good shooting option that's not going to cost you a tenth of your list right away?
A heavy melta, by the way, is basically a multi-melta, but doesn't have... But it's a melta gun that has unwieldy and 9-inch short range, 18-inch long range, but doesn't have the template of a multi-melta. So multi-meltas are still pretty good. Short range +1. It is worth noting that he also has access to the Stormwelder, which on almost everyone is an awful gun you should never take, because the Stormwelder is one that has unstable. It's, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage, rapid fire 3, and shock, but it's unstable. But these guys can ignore unstable.
That's true.
This is the only gang I would ever recommend taking a Stormwelder on, except it's bad, so don't take it anyway. Because it's still 75 credits for a Strength 5 AP 0. When you could take the Ironhead Combat Shotgun for a delicious 8-inch, 16-inch range, +1 at short range, Strength 4, AP 0, 2 damage, rapid fire 1 gun.
For almost half the credits.
Right. The only problem is the Ironhead Combat Shotgun does not have the template version.
Right.
Which is why it's only 40 credits.
True.
Because that template does a lot, especially for someone with a 4-up to hit. Do we want to talk about his weapons now, or do you want to save it for... Because a lot of these weapons are unique to him.
Well, the prospect gets them too.
Oh, okay, so we'll talk about that then.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
All right.
But yeah, basically throwing an exosuit on a champion that is more melee focused. Yeah.
This guy is basically, he's very like the Orlok Arms Master.
I'm not familiar with that one,
though. He's the alternate champion for the Orlok, who gets a lot more melee weapon and some short range weapons. You can build this guy punchy, and he's meant to be building punchy, but building him with a little shooty is still not a bad idea and still something you should do.
Yeah.
In my opinion. He will be expensive, though.
Yeah. So then the next one is the exo-kyn Prospect. So he also gets to wear the exosuit, but 60 credits, 4-inch movement, 4-up weapon skill, 5-up ballistic skill, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 4-up initiative, 1 attack, leadership 8, cool 7, willpower 6, intelligence 7.
He's got all the usual prospect rules, and he promotes into an exomaster.
Yeah, fast learner, but he gets the exosuit as well, and access to most of the same weapons as the champion, but not all of them.
Yeah, he loses a lot of the ranged weapons. He only keeps the Stormwelder, so, doesn't have them, basically.
Man, if only he got the shotgun, too.
Yeah, and he loses access to the hydraulic, he loses access to 1 melee weapon. He doesn't get the heavy drill.
Which is not that great anyway.
No.
Yeah.
He also, his skills, he gets combat.
Yeah. Skills are combat and... Oh, yeah.
Just combat is his primary.
Combat's his primary. He's got brawn of secondary, ferocity of secondary. Not bad. Again, like the exosuit that they're getting, like it's basically just a glorified hazard suit.
Yeah.
Like you lose the resistance to gas weapons, but you still ignore the flame template and the blaze template or the blaze keyword, whatever.
Yeah.
And then are resistant to chems, right?
Yeah.
And then instead of the hazard suit has a 6-up save naturally, this one has a 5-up save.
I don't think I like the Prospectus. It's too expensive for what it does and doesn't really fill a role. Because he's not any faster.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
He's too expensive to be cheap for having a ballistic skill 5 and a weapon skill 4.
Maybe just a cheap tank.
Kind of, but he's not that much better of a tank than your basic juvie. Because I guess he does punch better than your basic juvie.
He will punch better than your basic juvie, but your basic juvie does have more movement than him.
Yeah, I don't love him, honestly.
Yeah, not great. Not, I don't know. I probably wouldn't include him in a starting list at least.
Yeah. Who you will include in a starting list for exactly the same cost, 10 credits cheaper, is your Ganger, your Jolkin. So for 50 credits, you get movement 4, weapon skill and ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 5 up initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 6 welper, 7 intelligence. Promotes to a specialist. You can pick one of these as a specialist to start. Skill access, he has brawn as a primary and shooting as a primary. These are your basic bread and butter. They're expensive even for gangers because they have toughness 4. Ironhead autoguns are good.
Yep.
But you can spring for an Ironhead bolt gun. I don't think you will anymore. In the old days, you might have put one on there, but nowadays, especially if you want to use an Exomaster, I don't think you're going to have the money.
Yeah, unless you're drowning in credits, probably just go with autogun. It's
the bolt gun is a great thing to give them later when you're looking to upgrade because it will hit hard. But to start, I think what you want to do with these guys is have them with autoguns, the Ironhead autoguns.
Yeah. Give your specialist a flamer.
Yep.
Because the Ironhead flamer is pretty bonkers. It's got the Inferno, I think is what it's called for the flamer.
Yeah.
Basically rapid fire flamer.
It's still so expensive. For 5 credits more, I'd rather give him a Meltagun.
I don't know if
I know you were let down a lot by the Meltagun.
But my champ had the Meltagun.
Oh, okay.
Because the weapon skill, or the ballistic skill 3 versus a ballistic skill 4.
This is true, but especially, I don't know. I'd rather give him a Meltagun to start and just kind of take pot shots. But I could see the value of the flamer.
Yeah, I would. I don't know if I would put 155 credits on somebody that might get a ballistic skill upgrade with their skills. Mm-hmm. But with a ganger or with a champion where you can choose,
specialists can choose.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. That's the only reason why. And even then, both the flamer and a Meltagun are a hard sell for his first gun as a specialist because it's 150 flipping credits. Yeah. I think out the gate, my specialist is getting an autogun like everybody else.
Fair enough.
Or possibly a bolt pistol or a stub gun and an auto pistol, because your Ironhead stub gun is only 10 credits and still has rapid fire. Yeah,
and then you can always give him dum-dum rounds, which later on those come in pretty handy.
I would give him your specialist a stub gun and some kind of a fighting knife.
No fighting knife. Axes. The hand axes.
Oh, right. I forgot the axe exists.
Yeah, the hand axes are cheaper than the fighting knife, and I want to say they have the same profile, if not.
+1 strength is on the axe. The fighting knife has backstab, which gives it 1 AP in the rear arc, I believe.
I would make that trade.
Yeah, same. You're right. I forgot the axe was on there.
Yeah.
And then that way, when he does get a melee or a better gun later, he still has his backup.
True.
And a melee weapon.
That is true. That is very true.
So he'll run interference the first few missions until you can afford a better gun for him, and then he gets something nice. Mm-hmm. And then last and, least.
The Ironhead Squat Digger, the Juve. 35 credits, 5-inch movement.
Woohoo!
5-up weapon skill, 5-up ballistic skill.
Woohoo.
Strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 4-up initiative, 1 attack, leadership 8, cool 7, willpower 6, and intelligence 7.
Smartest juvie in the world.
Yes.
They do upgrade to specialists with only 3 or more advancements.
Yeah.
Used to be 5. Shooting skills.
Yeah. Shooting skills, brawn in combat secondary.
You give these guys a stub gun and an axe and throw them into the blender, and if they come out the other side with a weapon skill or a ballistic skill increase, all the better.
Yeah, stub gun and an axe. Give them dum-dum rounds later and smoke grenades.
Yeah.
Have them be a good screen.
Yeah, that's basically all you can do with these guys. They're cheap and cheerful. They're not that cheap. They're the cheapest thing you get.
Yeah.
All right, and those are the basic models. So now let's go into the crew. The crew is your crew, so you can have a crew without it counting as a champion. They're your basic crew: ballistic skill 4, leadership 7, cool 6, which is better than most crew, willpower 7, better than most crew, intelligence 7. They have the shooting primary and the driving primary, just like everybody else. And their weapons list includes the Ironhead stuff instead of normal.
Yep.
Now the exotic beasts, of which they have 3. They've got the Techmite Excavator, the Techmite Oculi, and the Techmite Autoveyor. So the Techmite Autoveyor is 45 credits, movement 4, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, bad mental stats except for 5, cool. Techmite Autoveyor may perform the bypass loot casket basic action, and when rolling to determine the contents, you may re-roll. Now, unfortunately, you can't give this guy a skill, so he can't ever get the one skill that lets him
get the extra credits.
It can only be equipped with a single weapon. It always has but it does have there's always another secret skill. So you always get the extra credit. So this guy basically runs around and opens loot crates for you and has a gun. That's it. The problem is all their guns are melee.
Yeah, and he has to, well, they have pistols.
Yeah.
But he has to also be next to his owner.
So the problem is that he runs around and opens loot crates, but he's only 4-inch movement. Statistically, I think it's going to be like 2 or 3 loot crates before you get your money back.
Yeah, which isn't terrible. And again, I don't know. They're, for 45 credits, I don't think they're super auto take until later, because like they still do the other stuff that exotic beasts do. They still support your guy in melee.
Yeah.
So if you put this with your exo-kyn champion and they both charge up, cool.
You spend 5 credits on a drill to give your exo master champion 1+1 to hit.
Yeah.
Something he's hitting on 2s, and maybe your drill does something. And if they target this guy instead of your exo master champion, what are they doing? And if you happen to be next to a loot casket, you open it and get some credits.
Yeah, put one of these on your leader and have your leader charge up with a versatility weapon, and he can't do the coup de grace. Well, this guy can. He can walk up.
The problem is you're just so strapped for credits as squats that I don't see it happening.
Not at first, at least.
Not at first.
Like, unless you're playing really loot casket heavy games.
Yeah.
I just don't see them being that worth it. They're adorable.
Yes.
And I will absolutely be modeling all of them.
They're just little guys, but
my guys will get them eventually. But yeah. Anyway, the next one is the Techmite Exovator 078B. 55 credits, movement 4, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, 3 strength, 4 toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack. This one is basically the same, except it has 2 guns.
Yeah. 2 guns.
And that's just another thing to add to it, is that the guns also
cost money.
They don't count. It doesn't start with the gun.
No, that's why I mentioned putting a drill on for 5 credits.
Yeah, like it doesn't start with a gun. And then this one you can be equipped with 2, but if you put 2 saws on it or bolt spitter, this is a 100 credit model.
This is technically better in combat. He also has brawn as a primary skill. If he becomes a specialist. The problem is that he trades the loot casket skill for nobody pushes Ken around, which is where you can't get moved.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But he doesn't give that to his friend or his leader, so he just can't get knocked back. So I'm picturing a scenario where you get hit by a blast weapon and your leader flies off the gangplank and your bots just go in there like, "Mrr."
Well, yeah, because don't they break if they're too far away from their guys?
Yep.
So
they break and have to immediately run back. So it's not a big problem.
True.
I love this one even less because he's going to pay for himself less. He is technically better in combat, but it's so expensive. For those credits, you could just get another dude.
Yeah, this is...
Just buy a ganger.
I think the biggest, advantage of these is it's going to be one of those things to get more models in a scenario that limits models.
That's about it.
So,
but I'd rather just spend 50, especially as squats, I would rather just spend 50 credits on a ganger.
True. I agree. This is another drowning in money
type
thing, I think.
Last one is the Oculi, the Techmite Oculi for 40 credits. 7-inch movement, woohoo. 5s and 5s, strength 2, toughness 3, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, mental stats that do not matter except for 5, cool. He flies, and he's got target paint. Well, at least one Techmite Oculi is within 6 inches of an enemy model, their owner reduces any negative modifiers to hit that model due to cover by 1. They also have an 18-inch leash, which is what makes that possible.
Yes.
So the goal is this guy flies forward 18 inches and is like, that guy right there, shoot that guy. It's only for the owner, so you're shooting champion, or maybe you're shooting leader, and it reduces cover. This can be very good.
Yeah, I think this one's really good.
You could also just buy an Infrasight. But Infrasights don't work on all weapons.
True. Notably, this was the one that came with the sniper.
Yes.
That came out a while back, the 4-year-old model. Now everybody has access, or at least your champions and leader do.
It's not bad. It's cheaper and probably more useful than the other ones, honestly. It is a vanity, but like most exotic beasts, it is a vanity purchase.
Yeah.
But at least this one I could see use for.
But with your squat tricycle running up there with multi-meltas, and this guy helps that out, I think so.
Let's talk about the one unique hanger-on they have.
The Claim Jumper. He is 60 credits, 4-inch movement, 3-up weapon skill, 4-up ballistic skill, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 4-up initiative, 2 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, 5 intelligence. Special rules. He's got Seize the Prize. During the post-battle sequence, this fighter may perform the Claim Jumper post-battle action. Claim Jump. Roll a d6. On a result of 5-up, choose a territory controlled by your opponent. Immediately gain the boons from that territory. This does not prevent the territory's owner from gaining those boons as well.
Yep. So that can pay for itself pretty quickly if you get lucky. He's also always part of the crew, so he at least is he's giving you another guy.
Yep.
And he's not bad himself. He has a gem extractor, an Ironhead auto pistol, a power fist, and a power maul. So he's pretty good in melee.
Yeah.
He also has a Techmite Autoveyor that has a drill and mesh armor. And he has Fearsome, which makes him harder to charge. And Iron Jaw, which, if someone attacks him with unarmed, makes him +2 toughness. He's not bad. It's just that hangers-on are always in short supply.
Yeah.
And rogue docks are really good, and especially for Ironheads, ammo jacks are really good.
Yeah.
And he's expensive. He's 60 credits. So he might pay for himself. This also only works if you you only get a third of the time, and your opponent has to have something where you can get, you're basically always going to choose settlement.
Right, yeah, to get
so
the money.
2d6 times 10 credits, right? And a possible guy.
Yeah.
It's just really rough to compare him to an ammo jack who Ironheads really love ammo jacks.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, pretty good. Their one brute is the famous Vartigen exo-driller, only available to squat gangs for a whopping 250 credits, which is not one of the most expensive, actually. Yeah. You get 4 inches of movement, 4-up weapon skill, 3-up ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 5, and 3 wounds, 5-up initiative, 2 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, 7 intelligence. You get the Vartigen Fist, Vartigen Heavy Flamer, and Seismic Crusher by default. You can swap that Vartigen Heavy Flamer with a Heavy Bolter for 50 credits, which I heavy recommend.
Yeah, you should.
The Heavy Flamer is not as bad on this guy because the Vartigen weapons on these guys are different in that they do not have unwieldy. So he doesn't have suspensors, but they're built in to not worry about that.
Right.
So the Heavy Flamer is not bad. It depends on where you're playing. If you're playing a lot of Zone Mortalis, Heavy Flamer is pretty darn good.
Sure.
I don't know, though. The Heavy Bolter being flipping Rapid Fire 3.
I still think the Heavy Bolter is the way to go, because, again, he's just slow. He's
also slow, and also your Seismic Crusher is already a template weapon. So I would really recommend the Heavy Bolter. You always get visibility X 3 inches more than normally is. If you ever have to deploy sentries, an Ironhead Squat exo-driller can always be deployed as an additional sentry, which can be really nice.
Yeah.
He's got Ferocity Primary, which is very good. And he has the Nobody Pushes Ken Around skill, so he's resistant. He's expensive, but a heavy bolter platform for 300 credits. Like, heavy bolter is normally already 160 credits. And this is a Vertigen heavy bolter?
Yeah. He is an auto-include eventually, in my opinion.
They're also just really fun.
Yeah, they're really fun, too. And they are distraction Carnifex, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, their entire gang is going to go after him and try to keep him down while the rest of your gang can, do dwarf shenanigans.
Fun model, amazingly good model.
Yes. I'm going to be buying my second one soon.
I don't have the kit yet because I'm trying to figure out how I can make my gnomes into one, but Cody's just writing grudges in his head right now.
No, you should get the
tree.
The tree from Blood Bowl.
I'm trying to think of how to do that, yeah. But how do you give a tree a heavy bolter? Just give it a heavy bolter.
Yeah, just green stuff, some sticks and vines holding on to it. There you go.
All right, vehicles. We got one new one and one that everyone already knew about, but nobody owns because it's a giant hunk of Forge World resin brick.
And you need to take out a second mortgage to get it.
Right.
So we're going to do the
Svenotar.
The Svenotar Scout Trike first. It's 105 credits. It's got 8-inch movement. The toughness is 5 in the front, 4 on the sides, 4 in the rear, 3 hull points, 5 up handling, and a 5 up save.
And you can only have it with your crew, so.
Yeah, and you can only have it with your crew. The hard point, an Ironhead Squat Svenotar Scout Trike has 1 weapon hard point. Any weapon mounted on it gains the crew-operated arc front traits. So basically, it's just got 2 guns that point to the front.
The weapons that it has by default are twin-linked versions of Ironhead autoguns, bolt guns, melta-guns.
Yes, which melta-guns.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah, and then it can have the Techmite Oculi control node. An Ironhead Trike may be equipped with the Oculi, which will group activate as if the vehicle was a fighter.
Not bad. It's wheeled, so it can get tired claws. It's got very good handling and a very bad save. This is basically a medium vehicle with a slightly worse save, but slightly more expensive at 105 credits.
Yeah.
You pay for it, but you do get access to Ironhead guns, and you do get access to the Techmite Oculi, but you have to pay for them still.
Yeah.
So I don't love it. It's a fun vehicle, very thematic for them.
I don't know. I think that can get pretty crazy. It's very expensive, but pretty crazy.
Yep. It suffers from the normal problem of all vehicles in Necromunda, which is none of them are as efficient as a Ridge Hauler. Right? But besides that, I think it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ridge Haulers, the Scalvian Explorator for 265 credits, so, more than a Ridge Hauler for reasons unknown to man. You get 6-inch movement, which is slow. Ooh. Front 9, side 8, rear 7, 6 hull points, 6 handling, 3 up save. So it's basically a slightly upgraded Ridge Hauler in the front, but with slightly worse rear armor. It's got an Ironhead Claw, which is when an Ironhead Squat Scalvian Explorator collides with and destroys an obstacle or flimsy structure. The Ironhead Squat Explorator does not suffer any damage as a result of the collision, so you can kind of He-Man your way, or Juggernaut your way through things. I wish it applied to other vehicles. I think you should be able to pick up other vehicles and just kind of move them,
right.
like a crane game.
Great, yeah.
I think it also should be a melee weapon, personally. Transport bed, it's got a transport bed along each side of the top hull. It's got 2 weapon hardpoints, one on the hull and one on the Ironhead Claw, which is weird. The hull is crew operated all around. The weapon Ironhead Claw is crew operated in arc front. So it's a little like the Ridge Hauler in that it's got one front arc to start, but it also has the front one without having to buy a cargo load, which we'll get to. It's tracked, which is why it's slower than a Ridge Hauler, but tracked also means you ignore difficult terrain, which is pretty good. 4 body, 4 drive, and 4 engine things. So here's the thing, though. The weapons it has access to by default are not great. Heavy stubbers and flamers, which it's fine. They're Ironhead versions, though, so...
Yeah, it is losing that grenade launcher. That's kind of an auto pick for the...
Yeah, because you don't get the crack grenade. So you're not going to be very good default against other weapons or other vehicles. But, just buy a melta gun. It's got some decent upgrades. It does have all-wheel steering, which is weird for something with tracks, because it doesn't
Yeah,
have wheels.
true.
But that can give you +1 to your save or your handling check, which means you're now going to a 5-up, which is pretty good. And then it can have cargo loads. While equipped with at least 1 cargo load, which costs you 40 credits. Valuable cargo, blah, blah, blah. If you're not wrecked and still in the thing, you get D3 times 10 credits. If your opponents manage to wreck you, your opponent gets D6 times 10 credits. Same rules as the Ridge Hauler. Same reason as the Ridge Hauler, it's very good. Because it gets you extra credits and helps this thing pay for itself very quickly.
Right.
Trading run, this thing can basically make a trade post-battle action in the same manner as a champion as long as it's not repair. However, it does specify you can only have this cargo, the Ironhead cargo container, as a cargo load.
Yeah.
You can't buy the Munitorum container. So instead of the Munitorum container, which gave you ammo, or the Promethean container, which gave you a explosive back, and technically unlimited fuel and more credits, you get flow of chems. If you're making a trade post-battle action with an Ironhead Squat Explorator equipped with the container, then any chems purchased from the trading post have their credit cost halved.
That's going back into the druggy dwarves.
Yeah, you could really be Walter White here with your drugs and being immune to, and getting 2 of them, and then they're halved. You're not immune to them. Pretty good. You have a lot of access to chems.
Yeah.
There's also a thing where it says Ironhead Industry, designed to survive the unpredictable and deadly conditions of the ash wastes. Ironhead squat vehicles are all of rugged design, which can be easily maintained by the master engineers of the mining clans. I'm guessing that's supposed to say something about how these are cheaper to repair, but they forgot to write that.
Yeah, probably it's probably going with the ancestry that helps you.
Yeah, but
haggle.
You forgot to write the rules.
I think it should be noted. I think because the ammo container also comes with 2 weapon hull points.
Yes, and this does not.
This does not, so it's not going to be as offensive as a Ridge Hauler can get.
Right. All right. So, before we get to the equipment, let's do the 2 Dramatis Personae available to you. Because remember, there's a way to get these guys for free.
Start with Orin. Orin Grimjarl.
The last Charter Lord of Yardland.
What he said.
Jardland.
Movement 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 4 up initiative, 2 attacks, 5 leadership, 5 cool, 5 willpower, 6 intelligence. He comes with a fractal pulse beamer.
This is a super short-range melta-gun, basically.
Yes. A rock drill.
Which is a power pack weapon with bad strength but good AP.
Mm-hmm. Really good. -2 AP. Not bad. An Ironhead auto pistol. Not bad. Frag grenades, crack grenades, smoke grenades. Skills, he's got stubborn to the last. He comes with mesh armor, a respirator, and a techmite excavator.
Yes. So this is the same as all petition models, right?
Yep.
Where you have to petition them, and it depends on your rep. You roll D6 plus your rep. If you have bad rep and you roll D6 plus rep is 1 to 8, you get 100. He costs you only 100 credits.
Yeah.
If it's 9 to 15, he costs you $200. And if you roll a 16 plus, he doesn't show up.
Yeah. Or you can be the Sky Dwarves and get him for nothing.
Now, he does have a special rule called Last Charter Lord. Any friendly fighter with a 9-inch may use his cool characteristic when making any cool test. That's pretty good. He is deadly in short range with a 4-inch range melta-gun.
Yeah.
But I don't like him that much. Honestly, I wouldn't. For 100 credits, he's really not bad. For 100 credits, he's not bad. I think 200 credits is too much for him, personally.
I mean, 200 credits for a... I guess that is kind of a short melta.
Yeah, that's the problem, is it's a very short melta, and for 200 credits, I'd rather spend that 200 credits on another guy.
Yeah, or a melta.
Right. Yeah. The other Dramatis Personae, it's page 101, is Urson Grimjarl. He is not a petitioner, so you can't get this guy for free. He's just a bounty hunter, which is the normal bounty hunter rules. You get what you pay for, dead and alive. Claiming bounties will get our bit, so he can run away. He gets a Techmite Oculi. If his Techmite Oculi dies, he can perform a double action to get another one.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I do. He costs 160 credits. Movement 5. weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 6'5", 6'6", leadership, cool power, willpower, intelligence. Cool power? Leadership,
Cool power.
Cool power. He comes with a long shot hunting rifle, which is short range 18, long range 48, plus 1 at long range. Strength 5, AP2, 2 damage, rapid fire 1 gun. It's a 48-inch range plasma gun, folks.
Rapid fire 1 sniper rifle.
Sorry, plasma gun with AP2 instead of AP1.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's good.
Yeah.
He's also got a Ironhead stub gun for funsies and frag and crack grenades. He comes with mesh armor, respirator, a proximity aspects, which we'll talk about, and tech inoculi. His skill, he's got clamber, precision shot, which is a thing where you can get extra damage on the shot, and overwatch. Oh, and he's got a tech inoculi, which can pop you out of cover.
Yeah.
This guy's good for 160 credits.
This guy's great.
Look, 100 credits of that is his stupid plasma gun, basically. Just think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is he's a bounty hunter, which means he's got all the normal problems. But may I suggest to you, outcasts. So that's it for the models. Let's talk the equipment available to them. They don't really have any auxiliary equipment like, house relics or anything like that. They dispensed with all that useless crap. Mm-hmm. Instead, they just got guns. Guns.
Lots of guns.
The first one, and we're just going to talk about this one all at once, is all the Ironhead weapons.
Yeah.
If not stated otherwise, the Ironhead prefix just means it has rapid fire when it wouldn't otherwise, and if it already had rapid fire, it gets another rapid fire.
Yeah, basically.
So there's the Ironhead auto gun, the Ironhead bolt gun, the Ironhead auto pistol, the Ironhead bolt pistol, the Ironhead hand flamer, the Ironhead infernal pistol, the Ironhead stub gun, the Ironhead grenade launcher, the Ironhead flamer. All of these just are their normal variants that have rapid fire on them when they normally wouldn't.
Yeah, they're pretty much. I don't think I can see one that has a different stat line other than the rapid fire. So yeah.
And if they already had rapid fire, they have rapid fire 2. Same thing with the heavy flamer and the heavy stubber. Like the heavy stubber goes from rapid fire 2 to rapid fire 3. The one thing that is different is the Ironhead grenade launcher only comes with seismic grenades.
Yeah.
Which are just literally frag grenades with AP1 and seismic. Mm-hmm. Now, seismic does knock your opponent down, so those are actually pretty good. I like those.
Yeah.
We already mentioned the Ironhead combat shotgun, which is just a combat shotgun, but rapid fire 1, which it already was. But it doesn't have the template.
Yeah, doesn't have the template. Yeah, the most notable difference is the cost, which you are definitely going to be paying for that rapid fire.
Right, that is the big problem. You're paying for all of these. All of these are more expensive.
Yeah, but like you're already rolling an ammo check for most of these guns anyway, even if they don't have rapid fire 1, so you might as well get a couple extra shots out of it.
Yep. The only actual equipment that is different is their power pack weapons and their melee weapons. So let's talk about those.
Yeah, so power pack, they are mostly melee weapons, but they do have a couple ones with range on them. Range.
Air quotes.
Glorified pistols, we'll say that. So the bolt spitter, it is a short range 4-inch, long range 10-inch, plus 1 to hit on short range, strength 4, minus 1 AP, 1 damage, 5 up ammo save, power pack, rapid fire 1, sidearm. So this is basically, you don't have an extra hand for a pistol, and you want to give them a pistol.
And it's 40 credits.
40 credits versus a bolt gun, an Ironhead bolt pistol, which is 45 credits, I believe. It has basically the same stats, I think, except for the regular pistol has
2 damage over instead of 1. That's the big difference.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But given that you can still use it in melee because it's a sidearm, I like this one the best, honestly.
Yeah, fair. And then circular stone saw. It's a strength plus 1, minus 1 AP, 1 damage, melee power pack, and rending for 25 credits. And then you got the drill, which is strength 3, minus 1 AP, just melee. That one's cheap.
It's 5 credits on the people who can take it, which is usually the exotic beasts.
Yeah, but for plus 1 attack, not bad.
Nope.
Gem extractor, strength plus 1, AP minus 1, 2 damage, melee power pack.
It's 50 credits. It's not bad.
Yeah. Then the Ironhead Arc Welder, which is strength plus 2, AP minus 2, 3 damage, blaze, Melee power pack.
For 100 credits, though. That's the problem. That's your best one, but it's also the most expensive.
It's the most expensive, but one extra attack with that guy, yeah, that's pretty nuts.
You'll kill things.
You'll kill things, especially if you already have a really good melee option on them to start with. And then lastly, the Stone Burner, this is the other pistol, but it's a Melta pistol.
Mm-hmm.
2 inches short range, 4 inch long range, strength 5, AP -2, 2 damage, 5 up ammo check, Melta, scarce sidearm power pack.
For a whopping 70 credits.
Yeah.
Not bad. Sidearm Melta is always scary.
Yeah. Getting Melta, like, because you can use it in melee.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem with the power pack weapons is that, God, do you pay for them?
Yeah.
They're so expensive on people who are already so expensive. Ironhead squats look terrifying to people because they look at the stats, but actually getting this crap on the field is really difficult, which I guess we'll talk about at the end. Let's look at some of the close combat weapons that are unique to them.
Yeah.
There's not too many. You got the heavy drill, which is just a user strength weapon, AP1 2 damage with melee and rending. It's not that bad, but it's not very good either. Especially for the heavy drill is a exo-kyn weapon.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it's actually an exo master weapon. It's only 35 credits, and there's a reason for that. But your exo master is still only strength 3. I don't like that for strength 3.
Oh yeah, true.
Your hydraulic drill, on the other hand, which is I'm going to be doing a lot of flipping back and forth. Should have written these down. Hydraulic drill, which is only 25 credits, gets you strength +1, no AP 1 damage, but it gets you entangle. That is literally a flail. But without the +1 to hit.
Yeah.
And the Ironhead Power Fist, which we talked about already, 60 credits, so cheaper than a normal Power Fist, I think, which is a lot. I forget. Strength +2, 2 AP, 2 damage. It's got pulverize and power, of course.
Yeah,
it's not bad. They have access to the club. Don't buy it. They have the oculi have pincers. It does not matter. It's strength 2, 0 AP, 1 damage. They have the power, axe, hammer, maul, pick, sword. We've talked about those already. They have the access to the rock saw, which on the is 35 credits and is actually one of my favorite because it's strength +1, -1 AP, and 2 damage, making it, for the same cost as the heavy drill, strictly better.
Yeah.
Why would you ever take the... Oh, never mind. Is that a mistake, them being the same cost? It is literally strictly better. The rock saw is literally strictly better than the heavy drill.
I think the heavy drill can just be...
And the heavy drill is only on the Exomaster.
Because it's cheaper if you take it on the Prospect.
Is that why?
Oh, no, that's the hydraulic drill.
Right.
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, the heavy drill isn't on this Prospect.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got no idea. The rock saw is better. The other one we want to call out are the 2 new two-handed power weapons.
I mean, I guess rending?
They both have rending.
They both have rending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't take the heavy drill.
The 2 new power weapons, the two-handed power weapons, the two-handed power axe and the two-handed power pick. The two-handed power axe is 65 credits and the two-handed power pick is 75. They both give you -1 to hit if you're not in engagement range. They have 2-inch versatile, though.
Yeah.
So this isn't like the normal two-handed axe, which just has like -1 to hit like all the time. These are not -1 to hit if you're in engagement range. They're only -1 to hit if you're at 2 inches.
Yeah.
So they have some versatility.
It's a trade-off.
The axe is strength +2, 1 AP, 2 damage. It's got disarm, unwieldy, versatile, and power. The pick is strength +1, 3 AP, 2 damage. Pulverize, power, unwieldy, versatile.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be contentious. I like the 200 power axe better than the pick.
I think there is a fair trade-off between either one of them. Because the power pick, if you do it within versatility, there's a chance you might miss. But if you upgrade, again, say you put it on your leader, get him to a 2-up weapon skill, you're deleting who you charge.
Yep.
You're absolutely deleting them. You don't need the disarm that the axe provides. But
Pulverize is better than disarm. I like the power axe better because strength +2 puts you at the strength 5 breakpoint.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is good for punching toughness 4 people, which includes other squats. When will we stop this dwarf on dwarf violence in our streets? But also Goliath and other things that are scary in melee. You do lose 2 points of AP though, and AP3 is terrifying.
Yeah.
Either way, I like them both. I think they're both way better than, like, why can't the two-handed hammer also be,
Yeah, and that's another
Unwield-
thing, because like the exos, they're all about their melee thing, right? And they can't take the pick or the axe.
They don't really have anything that's actually good. Oh, we did forget to mention the excavator hammer, which is their premier melee option, because the excavator hammer is their 50 credit melee option. It's strength. It's also 2-inch versatile, but with -1 to hit. Strength +2, 1 AP, 3 damage. Pulverize and versatile. So that's their version of that. Or they can take the power fist, which doesn't have versatile, but does have. Oh, where did that go? But doesn't have versatile. Has better AP but less damage. I kind of like the power fist better because it's less. It's 2 damage instead of 3, but 2 AP is better, and it still has pulverize.
Yeah, I think.
But it is 10 credits more.
Yeah, I think maybe if you were actually going to run a prospect, the excavator hammer is a good 50 credit thing to throw at him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think on the Exo Master, you're always going to either do a power fist and something else or double rock saws.
Yeah, I could see an argument for the excavator hammer, but the power fist being not unwieldy, unlike the normal power fist, means you could dual wield it.
Yeah, you could dual wield power fists. That is expensive, but
you could, and that's your premier option. Or just double rock saws was not bad. Strength +1, AP 1, 2 damage.
I think double rock saws is like the budget, like heavy hit
for 70 credits.
Yeah,
I like that. I would agree. If you want to make him a melee punchy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's all their unique stuff. So we come now to the end of it, which is overall, how are squats?
I think this is great. That was my problem playing them. Like, they were my first gang, and I've played them twice now. And my thing is, like, I would play against somebody who was playing, like, like COD or some of these gangs that, like, had their house of books, and they were always like, okay, yeah, so it's this, so I get this rule, and then I can bring these extra guys, and then I can do this. And, like, I remember, like, looking around, like, my first campaign in the Book of the Outlands, like, I'm like, where is all, like, the special squat stuff? Like, where are these rules? Like, where do I get to bring extra dudes in? No, I get rapid fire, which, I mean, that's fun, because I play orcs in 40k, so, like, I love shooting a lot of shots, but they just didn't have anything super special. They were definitely very much a secondary gang. So yeah, I think the new Ancestry rules, like, completely changed them. I think it really is the refresh that they needed.
So squats are interesting in that they were never bad, despite not being fleshed out.
Yeah, they were never really bad.
And for some folks, actually thought they were too strong, because that shooting was very strong.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of, like, they look at you, they can delete you kind of things.
For sure.
But they were easily outmaneuvered, and they still are. I don't think this book is overpowered.
I don't
in
think
any way, shape, or form. I think they are going to be strong, but being slow in Necromunda is a problem all its own.
Yeah.
Having 4-inch movement across all your guys. But now they have more melee counterpunch than they did. They're still not melee monsters, but if they build their stuff for melee, it will bully non-melee people and stand up to the melee guys.
Yeah, it should be said that a piece of equipment that you're going to want to put on a lot of guys that's not just for them is grapnel launchers.
Yep.
Basically gives you a 12-inch movement double action, so when you really need to get up the board for a turn or two later, just 12 inches, like, in any direction, basically.
But the nice thing is the Infiltrate Ancestry has really helped alleviate that.
Yeah, that's true. That will save you some credits on equipment.
And they have more ways to generate credits, which they really, really need, because everything is so expensive. A lot of their stats are scary, but they're so pricey.
Yeah.
Which means they can really snowball late campaign if somebody is winning and has the credits to buy all this stuff, and that does eliminate their downsides, except for the price, or except for the speed. The speed is something you will always have to deal with.
Yeah, and then the toughness 4 is scary at the beginning of the campaign, but I think that levels out
I think
pretty early.
the toughness 4 is also the only thing keeping them alive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Goliath. They also have 4-inch movement and toughness 4, and Goliath has short range shooting.
Right.
But if they didn't have that toughness 4, the people who are slow and don't have toughness 4 on Van Star, the only thing that keeps them alive is ballistic skill 2 shooting.
Right.
So I think they fit into a niche where they're not as good as shooting natively as Van Star.
Yeah.
Like all gangs, as all gangs move on, they move towards a center of sameness, like the stuff they're good at. And in that regard, the squats can compete.
Yeah.
So I don't think this book is too good, but I think it's really good. I think it's way more fun as a squats player. I read it and it's got me thinking about playing squats, which is always a good sign, right?
Yeah. It definitely rounded him out. I don't think it made him like super overpowered, busted. It didn't add anything too crazy to him, but it did give them I guess that extra flavor and the extra rules that they needed to really shine, other than just being point, target, delete.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it from us today with our. I keep forgetting the name. I keep wanting to say Book of the Ancients. It's not Halls of the Ancients. I wish they would just call it Book of the Ancients.
The Book of the House of the Halls of the Ancient.
Book of the Halls of the Ancients.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it from us today. Don't know what we'll be covering next. Possibly the new Venators that were just announced. At time of recording, this is the day before the LVO releases, or the LVO announcements. So if it's anything Necromunda, don't worry, we'll get to it. But we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, are we going to start saying, don't worry, the
Nomads book is coming?
The Nomads book is coming soon?
We already did that book, The Difference.
Yeah.
So at least that one they're not waiting. So now long-awaited National Squat Nightmare is over.
Yep.
And that's it from us. We will see you next time.